As I expected, an ancient mausoleum.
Topping grounds for the guides and brownies to muster in.
The mustering of the guides and brownies is not our only activity, Miss Gossage.
No.
If there are any dorms facing south, Miss Jessard, you'll make it your business to see that our girls get them. The infant animal needs space to breathe and blow.
How dare you? You're no gentleman.
What?
Vous n'êtes pas un gentleman.
What is this?
I refuse to answer that question.
Why?
In England, Angleterre, a lady is not required to mention the unmentionable. Pardon.
Good morning, milady.
Mr. Guttenberg, did you take that photograph?
Milady?
Well, look at it, man. Look at it. Now, this is your own work. Now then,
No, my lady.
What's that?
That is not my work, my lady.
Oh, what nonsense. My daughter told me distinctly. This is her friend, Miss Helena Fries. I come to sit at your feet while my child is being born. You're my director. I'm your humble servant. Oh, by the way, Jeremy St. Clair.
Who is he? Oh, the author. Oh, so he is.
Yes.
What about him?
Well, that's me.
I know perfectly well that I look quite plain after my German lesson.
Oh, child, you know how anxious your guardian is that you should improve yourself in every way. He laid particular stress on your German as he was leaving for town yesterday. Indeed, he always lays stress on your German when he's leaving for town. We will repeat yesterday's lesson.
You traitors!
Traitors?
Traitors! Fools! Knaves! John Gilroy Lougharne, 19th Earl, of whom you speak so treacherously, is the rightful King of Scotland, by direct lineal descent. And you miserable creatures come here to threaten him and to plot against him.
Have you ever tried this?
No. Should I?
It has a secret recipe.
Indeed.
Stolen from my great-grandfather by the Clan MacAllister in 1832.
You mean to say that it's yours, by right?
Oh, yes.
May I see?
Yes.
Please wait. It's going without us. I noticed. Oh, my goodness. Oh, dear, oh, dear. I very nearly didn't get here. Oh, thank you. My cat. Be careful of that, my dear. It's very precious. Oh, well, here we are at last. I nearly forgot to leave out the milk for my cat.
You'd think they'd fit some decent locks, wouldn't you? After all, you pay enough.
Oh, well, I mustn't complain. Everyone's been so kind. So very kind. Oh, by the way, I must get a coat. Could you direct me to coats, outsize? When does all this nonsense stop?
I beg your pardon?
And so you should. I've been kept here against my will for nearly 6 hours.
I'm sorry, madam, but there's very little we can do about it.
And why on earth not? It's no good thinking negatively about things. Negative thought can do nothing. Positive thought can do anything. Now, what about that contrivance you invented during the war? What a pity Miss Caroline's having to sell the house.
Sell the house?
Why? Financial reasons, dear. Besides, very soon she's going to get married.
But why can't they come and live here?
Well, her fiancé is some sort of an engineer, and he's got to work in London. Sleep and darkness safely brought, restored to power and life and thought. Dear Uncle Simon, I will do my best. Oh, I won't keep you more than a moment. Winston's been a naughty boy. I've been having a few sharp words with him. I talk to the animals by breathing down their noses, you know. It's a secret language in the animal world. The late Mr. Spencer was going to make a number of improvements before he...
Yes, Mrs. Fazakerly?
For one thing, he was going to do something about the rats. Rats? What makes you want to buy old Casper?
Oh, yes, well, no, I can't see the point in racing horses if they never stand a chance of winning, ma'am.
Winning? I don't race me horses to win. I like them to have the exercise and the fun. So me trainer races them when they look depressed. I know Stanley now calls himself a worker, but I'm most anxious that he shouldn't be disloyal.
Oh, definitely. How'd you like your tea?
Oh, strong, and no sugar, if you please. After all, family ties count for something. No one's entitled to forget the principles of his upbringing.
Complete oversight about my apologies, dear Auntie.
Auntie? You never referred to me as Auntie in all your life.
I didn't.
Old Iron Drawers was the kindest word you ever had for me.
Yes, Iron Drawers.
I know this was a deliberate slight.
Well, it wasn't at all, Auntie Drawers.
Larry, what's wrong with you?
Wrong with me? There's nothing wrong with me at all.
Your eye's not twitching.
Pardon?
I've just been going through all the papers again for the last 2 days, and still not a word about the murder. I suppose the police asked the press to say nothing for the moment. You sit down, won't you? Lull the murderer into a false sense of security, then pounce, eh? My late husband and I have always had the welfare of the pig breeders and farmers close to our hearts.
Wrong speech. Wrong speech. That was last week. Moon. Space.
Would be sure. As to the murderer, that will naturally require an investigation. The victim is old Mr. Enderby.
Enderby? What are you talking about? He died of heart failure.
Ah, but what caused his heart to fail so unexpectedly? You know, I'm sure I had it when I left home.
Yes, but I'm afraid you can't travel to America without a vaccination certificate, madam.
Why not? I once came through an epidemic of blackwater fever in Uganda, and I hadn't been inoculated or anything. I'm really not afraid of a little smallpox.
Yes, well, I'm afraid it's a regulation, madam.
You recall our production in aid of the Church Organ Renovation Fund, The Lodger's Dilemma.
Unforgettable.
Well, you remember, Mr. Stringer, that the victim in that play wore a rose to receive her paramour.
He murdered her. The lodger was blamed.
Exactly. Mrs. McGinty wore a rose on the fatal night. With our steady hands at the helm, I am confident that the good ship Battledore will continue to buffet her way through storm and tempest, providing a safe haven for those who are in peril on the sea of life. Thank you. I cannot see why they're having such difficulty. The whole thing is very clear, Mr. Stringer.
I quite agree, Miss Marple.
The solution is ABC to anyone with half a brain cell.
Sir John!
I fell asleep here and had my pocket picked.
You think I keep thieves in my house? My lord, I pray you hear me.
Go to, I know you well enough.
I know you, Sir John.
Go to.
You owe me money, Sir John, and now you pick a quarrel with me.
Captain! Oh, how nice of you. Chocolates. Oh, how perfectly charming. Nurse, will you put these by the porthole? Harry, do you want them to take all our beautiful things away from us? Confiscation, indeed. I'm not beaten as easily as that. Nazareno, let the vultures in.